Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are St. Louis.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. The great Ernie Banks, the Hall of Famer of the Cubs, would say, let's play two. That's what we'll do today. Starting with game number one on Fox Sports Midwest, it's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs. And welcome to game one of this doubleheader. That's Tim McCarver. I'm Dan McLaughlin. The Cardinals exploded offensively in game two of this series, and we'll see if it carries over to today.
As a matter of fact, Dan, in 2 games, the Cardinals have scored 24 runs on 33 hits with 7 home runs. Tough to top that.
Tough to top that, Matt Carpenter. Tough to top the day that he had yesterday.
Oh.
Historic performance. Let's play two. It starts with Luke Weaver, Tyler Chatwood. Cubs and Cardinals coming up. Legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Wind is blowing hard straight across into the foul pole in right. There's a little bit of a rain, a drizzle here at the ballpark. We understand that'll be the case basically for a good portion of game one. We'll see if that happens in game two. It's the Cardinals and the Cubs, game one of this doubleheader. Dan McLaughlin, Tim McCarver, and Erica Weston with you. 69 degrees here at Wrigley Field.
Windy and cold.
Windy and cold. As the Cubs take the field, we take you back to yesterday, and Matt Carpenter made history. 5 for 5, 3 home runs, a pair of doubles. He drives in 7. He scored 4. He became the first Cardinal since at least 1908 with 5 extra base hits in a game. and the first in the history of baseball to have 5 extra base hits by the 6th inning.
Our guy, Dan Hyatt, tells us that Carpenter yesterday had 16 total bases and the Cubs had 17.
It's amazing. Just some of the numbers there for Matt Carpenter. First Cardinal with 5 extra base hits in a game. Second player in the modern era, 3 home runs, 2 doubles in a game, Chris Bryant the other. 7th most total bases in a single game, and the most total bases from a leadoff batter all time. Amazing. Take a look at the Cardinals lineup with Matt Carpenter. What a shock he's in there today. If he would have sat Matt Carpenter, I'd have said, I quit.
Yeah.
Yadier Molina.
You had to get in line, too.
Yeah. Then Paul DeYoung and Marcelo Zuna, Tommy Pham, Colton Wong, Dexter Fowler, Greg Garcia gets the start at third base, and Luke Weaver, the pitcher, is batting 9th.
Here's the thing now. The Cardinals score 18 runs in yesterday's ball game, and they're ready to hit, and they're hitting against a pitcher who by far leads the major leagues in walks with 73. So, you know, you want to be patient, but you know this Cardinal lineup is not patient today because they're on a roll.
And those 73 walks, 20 more than any other starter in the National League.
Yeah, I said Major League Baseball, I meant the National League. But still, just unbelievable. He's walked 5 or more over a 9-game stretch over his last 9 games.
And the first pitch to Carpenter. He's taken for a ball. Well, last year, to put it in perspective, he faced 631 batters. He walked 77 of them. This year, he's already walked 73 in about half that span of batters. And Carpenter sends a fly ball into left. Schwarber over near the line, and he makes the catch. They finally get Matt Carpenter out.
First ball he's hit to left field since his home run in Game 1 here at Wrigley.
It's Schwarber, Happ, and Hayward in the outfield. Listella, Baez, Zobrist, and Rizzo on the infield. And around the horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Victor Caratini is behind the plate. Here's Yadier Molina again batting second in the lineup for Mike Schill. Showed you that walk rate and those with at least 17 starts, the 3rd worst ever. Chatwood walking nearly 8 per 9 innings.
Good gosh.
Man. And you know it's in the back of his mind. You know,
absolutely.
You fall behind, you think, uh-oh, here we go again.
Yeah, you can't shake things like that.
It's fouled back by Molina on a 2-0 pitch. Now 2-1. Cardinals have faced Chatwood a couple of times this year. They've won both those games, and he's walked 12, and yet he's failed to pitch through the 5th in both outings.
That's an example right there. I mean, that's way wild. That's not just missing.
I would imagine it's got to be tough to play defense behind him too.
Oh yeah, it always is behind a wild pitcher.
And it's a 1-out walk. You can even feel it in the crowd, the groans and the moans even after the first walk.
You know, I would imagine a pitching coach would have a tough time with a guy like Chatwood because he's got so much animation before he releases the ball. Getting him to calm down a little bit more before his delivery or during his delivery.
And a strike to Paul DeYoung.
Here's that delivery we were talking about. You can see how that arm kind of curls in and then goes back. That's a lot of animation, a lot of movement before the pitch is delivered.
What a pick by Caratini. Somehow he kept that in front, and Molina stays at first base.
That is a backhand Short hop, actually in between hop. About a 59-foot fastball. Those are tough.
So we talk about the defense. How about the catcher in this spot?
No picnic.
And DeYoung hits a fly ball into shallow right. That'll take it to the line with the wind blowing that way. And the catch made by Hayward. Chatwood now with 17 first inning walks in 18 starts. And the batter now, Marcell Ozuna. Always talk about the importance of a first pitch strike. And Chatwood, his first pitch strike percentage, 52%. There's ball one. That's worst in all of baseball. And he's not going to go deep into games because he's walking so many. He's averaging about 19 pitches per inning, third highest in all of baseball. So you get the idea. But I think your point, Tim, is spot on. I mean, you've got a Cardinals team that's really swinging the bats well. And ideally, you say, well, be aggressive, keep it going. But if this guy's so wild, you're really stuck between, two different thoughts on where to go with your club offensively.
It's the wrong guy on which to be aggressive.
Again, a hitter's count, 2-1. Molina running, and it'll be a stolen base for Yadier Molina, his third of the year. Let's turn to Tim's Toyota key to the game.
Now the key to the game's pretty obvious today in the first game of a split doubleheader. Take advantage of Chatwood's wildness in every way you can.
Ozuna had a couple of hits yesterday, including one with the bases loaded to drive in a run.
Everybody in the starting lineup, every position player, was on base at least 2 times yesterday.
The Cardinals did it against one of the game's best, and John Lester saw his 8-game winning streak snapped. Molina getting a sizable lead at second base. They're not even worried about Yadier Molina at second.
No.
3-2 pitch and a strikeout of Ozuna. Cardinals strand a runner in the top of the first. It's game one of a doubleheader, and it's Luke Weaver getting the start for St. Louis. Weaver and the Cardinals on Fox Sports Midwest. His 20th start today, a record of 5-8, ERA of 4.72. And Luke will go today in game 1 of the doubleheader. Hyundai pitch arsenal, 4 pitches, fastball, changeup, the curve, the occasional cutter.
Hey, Luke kind of gets a break because of the Cub lineup.
A lot of those regulars not in there, like Almora and Bryant, Russell, Contreras, but here is the lineup. It's Rizzo, Happ, and Hayward, Zobrist, Baez, Schwarber, Caratini, LaStella, and Chatwood, the pitchers. So you get a break with some of the regulars not in there, but you do get a lot of lefties in this lineup.
Well, that shows you how deep the Cub lineup can be, particularly against right-handed pitching.
Find it interesting that, you know, Joe Madden goes with Anthony Rizzo at the top of the lineup, the Cardinals with Matt Carpenter. It does not allow a starting pitcher to get comfortable. I mean, these are power guys at the plate to start a game.
That's becoming more and more the norm in Major League Baseball.
Sure.
Your power hitters are hitting earlier in the lineup.
And the first pitch, a ball to Anthony Rizzo. Average down, home runs, he's got 12 and he's driven in 62. And a base hit into right field, into the corner. Fowler over to cut it off. Now he has to dig it out. Rizzo maybe thinking 3, and he is. The relay by Wong. Throw is offline. A leadoff triple standing up for Anthony Rizzo.
If there's any Cardinal player that should be familiar with Wrigley Field, it's Dexter Fowler. Now, he went into a blind spot as far as we're concerned on this fastball hit down the right field line. Better shot at it right here. Fowler kicked it, and that's why Rizzo is on third base. First triple of the year for Anthony Rizzo.
Switch hitter Ian Happ. 9 home runs from this side of the plate. You know, the Cubs, if you look at it, they have 4 pitchers in their lineup. Happ, Caratini, Stella, and Chatwood.
That's great. That's great.
It's a little bit of a reach.
That's a good call. No, that's good. All 3 as position players pitching the last 3 innings of yesterday's game.
Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. That was Happ's first career pitching appearance yesterday. Win an inning, gave up a hit, no runs. Homered on Thursday, his 2nd straight game with a dinger. The 2-0 pitch, good fastball.
I had more respect perhaps for Gene Mock than any manager I ever played for. I mean, he was really on top of everything. If a guy led off with a triple in the early innings in particular, he'd go to the mound and tell the pitcher, pitch like nobody's on. Pitch like nobody's on. That guy's going to score. Pitch like if you happen to get a couple of strikeouts, that's different. Doesn't that make a lot of sense?
Yeah.
You know, you can't pitch to the guy at third base. I mean, I know the infield's halfway and things like that, but the odds are great that Rizzo's going to score somehow.
Cardinals started the at-bat with the middle infield back, and now, as Tim mentioned, they've moved in. The count is run to 2-2.
Start thinking about that runner at third, then you walk the number 2 hitter. Now you've really got a lot of trouble. That's the point that Mike was trying to convey. It's a good point.
The 3-2 pitch to Ian Happ. Missed on the inside corner. So a triple and a walk, and the Cardinals defensively, how they line up. The Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's defense Ozuna, Pham, Fowler in the outfield. Garcia, DeYoung, Wong, and Carpenter on the infield, and Yadier Molina is behind the plate. The resurgence of Jason Hayward, we talked about it yesterday, away from the plate, hands in a different position, taking the ball to the opposite way. A different looking hitter.
Yes, he is. He deserves a lot of credit. He's worked very, very hard at hitting. He had a lot of work to do, but we mentioned it yesterday. In the 9 years in the big leagues, his third year with the Cubs, 5 with Atlanta, 1 with the Cardinals. His best year was with the Cardinals.
And he's always been a fabulous defender. The strike to Hayward. Runners at the corners. Leadoff triple by Rizzo. The walk to Happ. And a double play ball. DeYoung steps on the bag. The run will score. It's a double play. So the Cubs out to an early 1-0 lead. Last couple of outings for Luke Weaver, it's been much better. He had the near complete game and had a perfect game July 5th, a game that we did together at San Francisco. He had a perfect game into the 6th inning.
Speaking of San Francisco, at AT&T Park, as we speak, they are playing rugby.
Rugby.
A rugby match. They have covered the infield with grass, from what I understand, and it's fascinating.
Kenny Chesney will play at Busch Stadium tonight.
It's rugby of a different sort, I guess.
Depends how you want to dance, I guess.
Do the rugby.
I don't know what that would be, but sounds like it'd be rough. The 2-0 pitch to Zobrist. Did not go. 3-0. Luke Weaver, spring training, early portion of the season, was very aggressive in the zone, and Cardinals want to see him get back to that. Really eliminate the walks, trust his stuff is something you always hear, and it applies here to Luke Weaver. There's a strike. 3-1. Cardinals with an 18-5 win yesterday on 18 hits. Most runs against the Cubs since all the way back in 1977, and the second walk issued by Weaver. We were thinking about the walks with Chatwood. Now you're thinking walks with Weaver.
Yeah.
Javi Baez at shortstop here for game number 1.
He's a remarkable player with, as far as his defense is concerned. You could put him anywhere, and I mean anywhere. The only perhaps aside from catching would be first base. You wouldn't want to waste his skills at first, but he could play any outfield position. Cannon for an arm, great hands, unusual power, and he has great speed. He's 18 stolen bases, been caught twice.
Only time I'd like to see him at first base is on a pickoff play to watch those quick hands apply a tag. He's got the quickest hands in the game on tag.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable is right. One 1-0 pitch to Baez. 2-0.
Thing about pitching to Baez, you want to think, if you're a pitcher, think the lanes. What are the lanes? The lanes are the outside 2 or 3 inches of the plate and the inside 2 or 3 inches of the plate. Where this guy is a real killer is in the middle of the plate.
The 2-0 pitch. Ooh. Baez, a vicious hack.
An example of those quick hands. He has quick hands offensively and defensively. A rare combination.
And a ground ball. Wong can't come up with it. He was playing towards the middle and the range far to his left. And it's ruled a base hit.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. That was a tough play for a guy who makes tough plays. Wong did all he could and in between hop. Baez could run. He was trying to hurry the throw. Even if he makes the play, I'm not sure he gets Baez.
See, he was just trying to make that quick transition out of the glove to first. That was the only way to get him. So runners at first and second, and the batter is Kyle Schwarber. 18 home runs for Schwarber. He's driven in 43. Pitch number 20 of the inning. And again, falling behind. Can get away with it some of the time, but over the course of a long game, no way.
No.
Schwarber was 2 for 4 with a walk and drove in 2 yesterday.
Don't depend on it. Pitching 1-0, 2-0, 2-1. They'll eventually get you. These are big league hitters.
1 of 6 first pitch strikes for Luke Weaver. And the 1-0. Changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inning started with a triple by Rizzo. Happ the walk. Hayward grounded into a double play that scored Rizzo. Walked to Zobrist. Infield hit for Baez. And a count of 1 ball, 1 strike on the slugger Kyle Schwarber. Strike 2. Luke Weaver made his major league debut in this ballpark.
Pitched well in that debut, but has not pitched well since then over the last 2 years. 0-2 with an earned run average of over 12.
1-2 pitch. And now he can't get on the same page with Molina, and so we'll have a mound visit here in the first inning. Coming up in game number 2, Cardinals will send John Gant, the right-hander, to the mound against Mike Montgomery, the lefty. Cardinals also putting Carlos Martinez on the DL with an oblique issue. They say they're hoping he's only going to miss 1 start. Time will tell.
Obliques are normally more than 1 start.
John Brebbia is back up, and there's some other moves that Erica Weston will tell you about coming up. 2-2 the count on Schwarber. And he struck him out. 94-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. A strikeout of Schwarber, and Tommy Pham racing in. He's coming up as we head to the second. Tommy Pham, the last 3 games, he's 8 for his last 11. Home run is driven in 6 and has scored 6. Beginning of the year, he carried the club for the first 5 to 6 weeks. He's been streaky the last couple of years, and when he gets on one of these rolls, watch out. This could be the beginning of one right now for Tommy Pham.
Tommy, usually when he is on a roll like he is now, he uses the fat part of the field, up the middle. A lot of his hits to left center, right center.
The first pitch strike by Chatwood, and the 0-1 pitch to Tommy Pham.
First breaking ball of the afternoon by Chatwood. Understandable with his wildness.
Tommy, in the month of June, hit 198, drove in a total of 5. Here in July, he's already driven in 13. This year against Chicago, 3 of his 14 home runs against the Cubs. 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. And it's a walk, and that's number 2 for Chatwood.
This would be a good game for Bob Uecker, wouldn't it? Major League, when he said just a little bit outside.
He'd be saying it a lot.
He'd be saying that a lot.
Kiev, drive to success, and it's Colton Wong, and he has picked it up as well. May 164, June 210, but here in July, he's batting .347. Chatwood with 5 batters he's seen, as Wong is swinging and lines it foul. He's already had 3 3-ball counts and 2 walks. Yeah, we were talking during the break. Why did Joe Madden move up Chatwood to game number 1? And we don't know the answer.
He was scheduled for game number 2.
That's right.
Montgomery was supposed to start this game.
My thinking is that he's got a rested bullpen, and probably realizes at some point he's going to have to go to it, maybe more so early than later.
It's almost I think a combination of using Chatwood as a reliever and get 3 innings out of it perhaps.
Yeah.
And that's enough. Then go to the bullpen. Every game is obviously different as far as starting pitchers are concerned, and there's nobody that can move lineups and move pitchers around any better than Joe Madden.
One ball and one strike. Dexter Fowler on deck, and the 1-1. Instead, another check on Tommy Pham. Remember, last year the Cardinals only had one win at Wrigley Field.
1-10.
And this year already 2, so they've gone past that 1 total. Outside. And when he's missing by a bunch. Some of these pitches here.
Yes.
And the Cardinals offense, a big reason why their offense has had big numbers. 2-2. Here it is, all time this year, and the Cardinals about 8.5 runs per game. Now yesterday certainly helped when you get 18, but they've had some pretty good offensive days. Big gap in right center for Colton Wong, and certainly he gets a ball in the gap, Tommy Pham could score. Pham is running on the 2-2. It's a strikeout and a stolen base for Tommy Pham, his 10th of the year.
Colton Wong swinging at that 2-1 high fastball, and then the 2-2 ball in the dirt. 3 little words: a good ball.
Here's Fowler. That pitch in the dirt. Well, since the grand slam in Chicago against the White Sox, seems to be a little bit more comfortable. He's driven in 7 in his last 7 games.
And we were talking with Radio's Camo X's Ricky Horton. Also works with you on some of these games about that in the lunchroom before the game. About how he's holding his bat differently, off the shoulders, not on the shoulders.
And a ground ball that's fair. Rizzo to Chatwood. And the batter will be Greg Garcia. It's not easy to be in the National League and an 8th place hitter. Are you being pitched around or pitched to?
Yeah. I think with Chatwood out there, he's struggling so much. He's pitching to everybody. He's not going to pitch around anybody. If he ends up walking Greg Garcia as a result, he may walk the pitcher too.
Right. Garcia, little flare towards short, and the catch made by Baez. Cardinals strand their 2nd runner of the day. It's 1-0.
a bevy of roster moves prior to today's doubleheader. As expected, Luke Weaver on the taxi squad today. He is the 26th man starting today's game. John Brebbia was recalled from AAA. Matt Bowman optioned to AAA. Miles Michaelis was reinstated from the paternity list. He's expected to join the club later this afternoon. But most importantly, Carlos Martinez placed on that 10-day disabled list retroactive to July 20th with a right oblique strain. He said he suffered it in the 5th inning of Thursday's game, reaching for a line drive, but we spoke to him and he said it is not believed to be severe, very mild, according to Mike Gersh before today's game. Carlos did receive an injection to reduce the inflammation, but they said no scans or MRI is necessary, which of course is a great sign. It's not as severe as the strain that Michael Wacha is currently dealing with, and he is only supposed to miss one start, or so they hope. Guys.
Erica, you've had a lot of very good reports, but this one was your best. The concentration with the baseballs flying down.
Yeah,
there.
right.
You gotta, your head's on a swivel.
Rookie training, hazing.
It's good stuff. Good job. Nice play by Wong, and Caratini is retired for the first out. It's dangerous down there.
Yeah.
Whoop, right there. And look at that. I mean, just kept on going. No big deal.
Right.
No big deal.
Keep going.
Ali Marmol there on the left and Jose Oquendo on the right. Those two always talking about positioning, defense,
and base running.
And base running. Strike to Tommy La Stella. He's batting .274. And it's 0-2. The pitcher Chatwood on deck. Ernie Banks would say, let's play two.
Let's play two.
I find this incredibly interesting and often overlooked with Ernie Banks. Inside corner just missed. Frank Robinson, player manager of the Cleveland Indians in 1975, first African American manager.
Right.
But May 8th of 1973, Whitey Lockman was ejected, and they were down to Ernie Banks as a coach as La Stella goes down to get it. Pham racing for it, can't come up with it, smothers it and holds him to a single. Boy, that's a good play.
Real good play. Tommy appears to be all right. Don't know whether he extended anything like a left shoulder. But a fine play on the short hop. Having played La Stella over to left center field, and La Stella pulls the changeup. That could have been easily a triple had it gone off the glove.
So a couple other coaches were gone, and Ernie Banks had to finish the game as the manager. Now, as many of you know, he does not get credit for the win. The Cubs would win that day, but he doesn't get credit for the fact that he was the first African American manager in the majors. I think that's fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks.
Forever optimistic.
A strike to Chatwood. They tell a story about Ernie Banks that they were playing in Houston before the Astrodome, and he passed out and missed game 2 of the doubleheader. And his teammates were all over him. Oh, Mr. Let's Play too. Chatwood bunting.
I saw Ernie last at Cooperstown a couple of years. I think it was 2014 or 15. He was talking to Gaylord Perry, and he said, "Hey Tim, you know Gaylord, don't you?" I said, "Ernie, I only played against him 15 years." yes, I do know Gaylord. Thank you. But he was always like that, Mr. Gregarious.
0-2 pitch, and Chatwood gets the bunt down. Weaver applies the tag, and La Stella in scoring position for Rizzo. We ran into Ryan Sandberg after the game yesterday. He's now working on the post-game shows radio-wise for the Cubs.
Ryan was living in Arizona. He moved his family back to Chicago, and that's where he belongs.
And you are headed to Cooperstown to see the induction of Bob Costas, the Ford C. Frick Award recipient, later next week.
Next Saturday.
And he was behind the mic on that famous Ryan Sandberg game.
Yep. With Tony Kubek as his partner.
A day that Willie McGee hit for the cycle.
Really?
And was...
I'd forgotten that, or I don't think I knew that.
And Willie was announced as the player of the game.
Huh.
On the telecast.
And it was a 10-inning game, I believe. Won by Sandberg off someone. Off Suter. Wasn't it?
2 home runs.
Off Suter.
He tied it up and then he won it.
That's right. That's right.
And
amazing. I didn't realize Willie had a hit for the cycle in that game.
Bob tells a story that they had to go to the fight doctor, Bernie Pacheco and Marv Albert, he said, somewhere in the country for some quick boxing match. And their game's taken forever, so he's in the middle of reading the credits when Sandberg hits the home run.
How about that?
So the intentional walk to Rizzo to bring in Happ. So Sandberg had 2 home runs that tied the game, and then it ended on a base hit by Dave Owen. But both those home runs coming off of Bruce Suter.
It's when Whitey Herzog said Ryan Sandberg's the greatest player that's ever played the game. He was a good one, I'll tell you.
Sandberg will tell you he thinks it's the game that put him in the Hall of Fame.
How about that? All sorts of goodies, Danny. Nice going.
It's fun stuff. It's baseball. It's the best. It's the big leagues, man. On television, an easy way to do it. Stream the games live on your mobile device and download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Cardinals wherever you go. The pitcher, Luke Weaver, to lead it off for St. Louis, followed by Matt Carpenter and Yadier Molina. Weaver may be taking a strike, if not 2, with the wildness of Chatwood. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield shallow as Weaver shows bunt, pulls back and looks at a ball. 2-1. Got some amazing numbers and maybe reasons as to why Matt Carpenter is on this incredible streak as he sits on deck. Talk so much about the shift, and he's beating the shift. You think about ground balls against the shift. That's outside. 3-2. Since May 16th, his ground ball rate the lowest in the majors at 21%. So he's hitting the ball over the shift. 3-2 pitch out to shallow right. Hayward is there to make the catch. And he's also hitting the ball the hardest of any batters in baseball. So you combine those two things and you get the idea. Hit the ball hard, tougher to field against. He's getting lift, not hitting a lot of ground balls. In 123 plate appearances against the shift, his batting average now .382, 22 doubles. And he's put the ball in the air 76% of the time. So really does give you a good idea of why his season has turned around. And many of those numbers are from our buddy Bernie Miklas of 101 ESPN in St. Louis, who does a great breakdown of various aspects of the Cardinals. And Bernie took a hard look at Carpenter and passed those numbers along to me. But it is amazing the turnaround that he has had. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Carpenter.
If they gave such an award as comeback player of the year in the same year,
he's the guy.
He'd get it hands down.
I think it'll be fascinating if the Cardinals can find themselves in postseason play. Where's Carpenter in terms of MVPs of the league? I mean, you take away the first 6 weeks, this guy is the best hitter right now in the National League.
Yeah. Interesting point. A little early yet.
Agreed.
Another 6 weeks.
And he drives it out to deep right. Hayward back. He's done it again. Wow. Carpenter with home run number 24. You can't get him out.
This is ridiculous. I'm going home. And so is Matt. Again.
Man.
I'm telling you, get out of here. And there was nothing wind blown about that either. If anything, that was against the wind. He's been on that train a long time. That's his 7th home run in the last 5 games. Goodness.
And that's 5 consecutive games that he's hit a home run in. Molina deep in the hole. Baez bobbled it still. Oh, he got him. Unbelievable play by Javi Baez. This is the big leagues, man.
And he is a big leaguer. Of course, the only guy on the Cardinals lineup that he would get would be Yadi Molina because of his speed or lack thereof.
I mean, he even bobbled it, off balance throw deep in the hole and got him by a step. Terrific. Here's to Young, fly to right.
That's the beauty of the game, isn't it? I mean, think about that tandem. A home run by Carpenter, 7th in 5 games, and a play by Javi Baez that was just as remarkable.
Oh, 1 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. And DeYoung launches one out to deep left, but the wind is going to knock it down. Matt Carpenter has 21 home runs since May 16th. The only player in the National League with more. Jesus Aguilar with 22. He's on fire right now, and he's tied it up 1-1. Fourth of the year.
It's funny, Dan, when we got to the ballpark at about 9 o'clock this morning, we came out here and checked the flags, and we're thinking about it and talked briefly about whether Carpenter's got a chance to hit one out. And the flag is certainly not abetting any ball hit in the air today, as that ball hit by DeYoung proved. But Matt Carpenter hitting it, doesn't matter whether the wind's against it or not.
I've done, I'd say probably 95% of his games in the major leagues.
Sure.
When I mean announcing those games, I've never seen him locked in like this.
No.
And he's had some great runs too.
Yes, yes.
It was May 15th. After a game in Minnesota, he had a 140 batting average.
In that game, he had 3 hits his last 3 times up.
Off the glove of Weaver, that'll slow it down to DeYoung, and they get Hayward by his step. So in the 56 games since then, he now has 75 hits, 21 home runs, and the average is near 350. Man. Good play by Weaver. That slowed it down just enough to get to DeYoung.
Most of the time it goes against the pitcher. That time it went for Luke.
There's Ben Zobrist, who has the old school look. The stirrups, the black spikes.
He's a Joe Madden player. Can play every place, any outfield position, any infield position for that matter. Switch hitter.
Wong can't get there. Under his glove and into center. Not sure if he fields it cleanly, he would get Zobrist anyway, so it's a base hit. One thing that Luke is doing today, a lot of balls have been on the ground. 5 of the 7 outs are on the ground. There's a base hit to center on the ground. Baez had an infield hit. Ryan Ludwig in 2008, by the way, the last to homer in 5 straight games. McGuire did it in a record 6 straight from the end of '97 to the start of 1998. Ryan Ludwig, by the way, is working for the Cardinals. Very active.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, very active in spring training, especially with the Step Camp, which is the top prospect camp. He'll rove the minor leagues. Jason Isringhausen does that. Braden Looper. Baez drops down a bunt. Garcia bare hands and makes the play. No, they're going to say Carpenter is off the bag.
Garcia charged it well, flawlessly barehanding the ball, and it looked like Matt's foot came off the bag. Baez playing the umpire down there. Might be, I don't know. I think that's going to go against the Cardinals. I don't know.
Cardinals will challenge in this spot. It's a heck of a play by Greg Garcia.
It really was. Normally, it's so close to the pitcher that Luke Weaver could have had a shot at it. Garcia came a long way in the bare hand and the throw. I think he was on the bag.
The question will be, did he have control of it in the glove? You can kind of see it wasn't a clean catch.
I think it's only on the foot. I mean,
well, that's my point, is that when he finally did corral it and it was in the glove.
Was it off?
Yeah.
I see. Yeah. Was it rattling around in the glove while his foot was there?
Right.
And then did that cause it to come off?
So there he might still be on the bag, but it, as you said, and I think describing it properly, is it rattling around in the glove? And if not, then I think he's out.
Yeah, I do too.
And he's out.
And Zobrist allowed to stay on second base. That's a key play. He's still in scoring position.
You mentioned the other day, you think now third baseman with that play, it's been never done any better than what we're seeing at this day and age of baseball.
It used to be where the bare hand pickup from the third baseman with a long throw across the diamond, of course shorter because he's charging the ball. But I've never, that used to be a rarity.
Yeah.
You'd see it 10 times a year. Now you see it 10 times a month. At least 10 times a month.
Extends the inning to Schwarber.
Yeah, because keep in mind, you have to feel the ball in a throwing position. If you can't use all your fingers to feel the ball, you have to use the middle finger and the index finger, corral it with the thumb, control it with the thumb, and make the play like you would normally throw. That's why it's so difficult.
It's Adam Olson to check on Yadier Molina. He took one square off the mask yesterday and does so again here. You know, if it wasn't for Billy Hamilton robbing Matt Carpenter of a home run back on the 13th of July, Carpenter would have home runs in 6 straight. Billy came up with an unbelievable play.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Went probably a foot above it, somewhat beyond the fence.
Oh, it was awesome.
Really was.
1 ball, 1 strike on Schwarber. Struck out back in the first inning. Sun now peeking through the clouds here at Wrigley Field. Packed house for game 1. It'll be the same for game 2.
And tomorrow afternoon, Miles Michaelis toes the rubber.
Low and outside. I don't think that Weaver would mind walking Schwarber in this spot than dealing with Victor Caratini. Dangerous man at the plate. And it's a walk, so runners at first and second. The 4th walk issued by Luke Weaver. MLB at Bat, your #1 Cardinals app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Cardinals home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV game of the day. In-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. So 4 walks with 1 being intentional, and here's Caratini. Really good play by Colton Wong and a backhanded play on a grounder back in the second to take a hit away. Want to know the count on Caratini. Big gap in right center. Inside, 2-0. Wind is blowing in sharply from left field. Then from center it goes to almost across the field to the foul pole in right. Inside, 3-0.
That's the thing about intentionally walking, pitching around guys like that. I don't think either pitcher is in a position to be doing that. Luke Weaver, this is the 3rd inning, 2 2/3. He's walked 4 and 3-0 to Caratini.
Three and 1.
Those clouds moving across the infield like a page in a Daniel Silva novel. The way he describes things.
And a ground ball to DeYoung. Across the diamond. Cubs strand a pair. They have left 6 on. Header coverage begins at 6 on Fox, and you can stream it live on the Fox Sports app. They start him young in this rivalry.
That's an adorable shot.
It sure is. Marcell Ozuna struck out back in the first inning. So we will not be a part of game number 2 of the broadcast, but I've got his bleacher tickets. We'll take it in from the bleachers.
No, we won't. We'll be at one of Chicago's finest restaurants.
All right.
Watching the game on the air.
That sounds good too.
Yeah, watching it on Fox. Our buddies at Fox.
Here's a 1-1 pitch to Marcell Ozuna.
I've secretly torn those tickets up.
Is that right?
Yes.
We could have scalped those and then paid for dinner with those. What are you doing?
I wasn't thinking.
I'll let it go this time.
Well, I've already gone through 10 pounds of 20s. Since I've been here anyway, I might as well just go for it.
3-1 to count.
This town's bad on one's wallet.
Oh boy.
Whew.
A strike to Ozuna, 3-2. I would think that Chatwood would be uncomfortable at bat. He's all over the place.
Yeah, that's true. Many ways.
And it's a leadoff walk. His third walk of the day. Balls and strikes. 49 total pitches for Chatwood.
I guess the extreme example of that was Steve Blass's problems back in the early 70s, where he couldn't find the plate. And for right-handed batters, it was dangerous to go up there, Dan.
Yeah.
It was really scary.
Talked to Steve a lot about it.
Oh, yeah. He's a great guy. And he kids all the time. He's very funny. But he kids about, isn't that great? I pitched for 18 years in the big leagues, and they have a disease named after me.
Right.
That's what I get for it. Steve Blass disease. But it was a frightening thing for a really good guy, and I mean really good guy.
Longtime broadcaster with the Pirates, and when Rick Ankiel was writing his book, which is a New York Times bestseller, it's a fabulous book called The Phenomenon, he and Steve Blass went into a room, just those two, to talk. And Steve Blass told me that he came out eyes full of tears, cheeks wet from crying, and he said, I shared things with Ricky Ankiel I haven't talked about or remembered for over 30 years.
Wow.
His fam hits it to center. It's something only those two would know.
That's a great story.
Rick, our colleague at Fox Sports, and does a really nice job on the air.
Smart guy.
You bet he is.
Very bright. As is Steve Blass, I might add. Why do those things happen? No one knows.
No one knows. Rick Ankiel on his couch and retired for all of maybe 4 or 5 hours before the Cardinals called back and said, do you want to try to be a position player? And he thought about it. He said, that may bring the fun back in the game. Why not? Let's do it. And he credits Jim Edmonds for really helping him along.
Oh, that's nice.
Wong with a fly ball out to shallow left center. McDonald's Ticket Fest is back, and fans can purchase tickets to see the Cardinals play the Cubs next weekend, Sunday, July 29th, for just $15. So $15 Cubs tickets now at cardinals.com/McDonald's. And the batter is Dexter Fowler. A shift on here for Dexter. Now he is, showing signs of getting better, but with this kind of extreme shift, I would think even though there's 2 outs, think about pushing that bunt down.
Well, he squared around then. Matter of fact, I think that could have blurred the vision of the catcher in trying to make that play, trying to make the catch. Said it's a pass ball, but watch the bat. Clearly, or not clearly, but sometimes when a catcher tries to, the barrel of the bat gets in the way. Some guys do it intentionally in a bunt situation. They'll put the barrel of the bat right in the eyes of the catcher.
1 ball, 1 strike on Fowler. And with a runner at second base now, LaStella, the third baseman, more towards the line.
Fowler's taken 2 strikes right down the pipe, and the one thing you can't be surprised at Chatwood's fastball. It's the only pitch he can get over.
Two and two. Outfield is straight away. Ozuna, your runner at second base. The 2-2 rolled up the first base line. Chatwood will step on the bag, takes it himself. Cardinals have stranded 3. We're midway through 4 at Wrigley. Game 1 of a doubleheader. 1-1. Toyota, let's go places. It's turned out, at least for the moment, to be a nice day here in Chicago. Cardinals will wrap up the series tomorrow, then head to Cincinnati. Cardinals yesterday with men on base went 9 for 23. Today they are 0 for 8. One run that they scored came on a home run by Carpenter.
What a telling statistic that is.
The strike to Tommy LaStella. Always say it. If you have the chance to do it, it's a bucket list type thing, but come to Wrigley during a weekend series, the Cardinals and the Cubs. Wong makes the play. LaStella the first out.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've seen many Cardinal games in St. Louis and in Chicago, gosh, for the last 50 years. And I've never enjoyed the games as much as I have this time around, for whatever reason. You know, it was a great game on Thursday night. Network covered it, ESPN. And we did the game yesterday, and how can you not love that game? And now today is just totally different when you would think that today would be like yesterday. But it's not. And a great pitching matchup tomorrow. So it's, you know, it's just so much fun.
Expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
When you come to Wrigley.
Yeah, right.
A ball and a strike on Tyler Chatwood, former Rocky and Angel. Rooftops are full, bleachers packed, stands are full. And they have done a very nice job cleaning this up.
They really have. That's a very good point. They really have.
My understanding is there's another phase to, you know, the cleanup, if you will, of Wrigley, which will be part of the press box area, maybe adding some seats if they can.
And of course, you know, the Cubs have been battling some feisty neighbors.
Oh yeah.
You know, across the street. I think the Cubs get like 17% or something like that from the bleacher areas outside the ballpark. It's
just makes the play.
Just so much that adds to everything that you get when you get a ticket to this ballpark. And there are other ballparks that are great in their own right, obviously, but it's a unique experience here.
At the shot of the press box area for us, the writers are to our left, and then home television, us, home radio, visiting radio. It's a tight space up here at Wrigley Field.
Yes. And there's almost no place, it's a writers' sports area. WGN Sports has been around forever. Len Casper and JD, our counterparts.
Jim
Deshaies. But any place you walk in this town, they know why you're here. And it's been that way forever. As a player, they know who you are. And, you know, that could cause some problems in that. And occasionally it does, but not often. Normally, Midwestern fans, very nice, unimposing for the most part.
And you go in the visitors clubhouse and you might as well be in a closet with about 25, 30 other people. It is tight. And Molina looking back at Lance Barksdale, the home plate umpire. Weaver shaking his head a bit. That's walk number 5. What has been a tight zone. Looked to be a pretty good pitch. Doesn't go his way. Of the 11 outs recorded by Weaver today, 9 have been on the ground. You think about what he did in San Francisco in that special night, going 8 innings. Everything in the air, using the ballpark.
And coming out in the 8th inning, and Mike Matheny extended his hand, and Weaver took about 3 seconds before he shook his hand.
He wanted to stay in.
Yeah, right. Wanted to complete the game.
And the 1-0. It's 6 straight balls thrown by Weaver. Happ with good power at the plate.
Now Molina holding the ball and turning around, and he rarely does that.
Yeah, he's not one to show up the umpire.
No. Most umpires will tell you just keep your head directed toward the pitcher. But Molina turning around with 7 straight balls thrown by Weaver.
The 3-1 pitch. And the problem becomes you got to groove it.
Yeah.
It's this tight.
Yeah, we talked earlier about the lanes of the plate against this lineup in particular. You think outside and inside 2 or 3 inches. Sometimes you're forced to throw it in the middle of the plate.
And he comes back to get him. So he strikes him out. His second of the day. And coming up, he's due up third. You don't want to miss it. It's Matt Carpenter. What else can he do?
Cubs add 1 apiece in the top of the 5th inning. Jack Flaherty making his first career start at Wrigley Field yesterday, picking up the win. Of course, he said he gave them a lot yesterday. He was glad he was able to execute the game plan with the way the offense was rolling. He wanted to keep it 5-1, particularly in that 3rd inning where Flaherty got out of a bases-loaded jam with back-to-back strikeouts. I spoke to Jack before today's game. He said earlier this season he was talking with Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright about his pace during innings when he seems to be getting in a jam. Mike Schilt said last night he is mature beyond his years as far as his pacing went in that 3rd inning, being able to slow things down. He said Carp and Waino told him to take a breath and things will naturally slow down. Yadier Molina, of course, came out to give him a bit of a break, but he wanted to get out there and have quick innings to get the hot offense out there and stay hot. He said it was fun to be a part of. I also asked him if he felt like he was becoming the guy whose starts are becoming interrupted by rain. He said no. Michael Wacha certainly holds on to that rain total. Dan?
Yeah, anytime it rains, you can bet that Michael Wacha is probably on the mound. Always have a rain delay, it seems like, with Michael Wacha. 3-1 the count. Thank you, Erica, on Greg Garcia, Luke Weaver to follow, and then Matt Carpenter. And it's a walk, his 4th of the day. And it brings in Luke Weaver, who was not happy at all with the home plate umpire. As a matter of fact, could just see down there kind of screaming out towards the field and frustrated with the strike zone. And it's been a tight zone as Weaver gets the bunt down perfectly, and Rizzo applies the tag. Weaver out of the baseline, and so the sacrifice is good.
I don't know if you saw that play, but Rizzo had the ball in his bare hand and switched it quickly to the glove hand and made the tag with the glove hand. Because if you got the ball in your left hand and you make the tag with the glove hand, it doesn't count. Watch him quickly go to the glove hand to make the tag.
And then Weaver ruled out of the baseline. So here's Carpenter. Would they even pitch to him? No, they're not. I don't blame him.
I don't either. Dan and I had 4 fingers up.
Right. I don't blame him. So an intentional walk to Carpenter, and now Yadier Molina, who walked, stole a base back in the first inning, and then was robbed by Javi Baez in just an incredible play in the hole.
Not only in the hole, bobbled the ball, juggled it a bit, and then that cannon for an arm from short left field to get Molina by a step. No, your other arm, Javi. He's holding his left shoulder. The cannon hangs from the right.
Another note on Carpenter, by the way, he's tied the all-time major league record for consecutive games with a home run from the leadoff spot. A leadoff hitter, Brian Dozier in 2016, Jock Peterson in 2015. To further your point you made earlier, how this series has just been, a tight game today, and yesterday all those runs. The first 2 games of this series, 38 runs total, and today we're tied 1-1. Go figure. 2-0 pitch to Molina, 3-0. We can't tell you if anybody's up and throwing in the Cubs bullpen because we can't see them, but there are cameras that are inside those bullpens. And for Chatwood now, this is the 7th 3-ball count. We're told that no one is throwing in the Cubs bullpen. Pitch count only at 69.
Well, if you're Yachty right here on a 3-1 count, you want to be sure the ball's a strike. It's got to be right where you want it.
Three and 2.
I think you send the runners here. Slow runner at the plate, stay out of the double play.
And they do, and it's hit out of play. Nice play, barehanded catch made by a fan. Leaping for it and coming up with it. See if they start the runners again. Garcia can get a pretty good jump off his second. They're not near him. They're running, and it's out of play. would say we've seen a little bit more animation from Mike Schultz.
Yes, particularly 3-2 counts. Mike Matheny did not like sending runners on 3-2 counts. Mike Schultz does.
Pitch number 8 coming up to Yadier Molina. Activity, action, movement, pressure on the defense. They're running, and it hits Molina. Then it got Caratini, I believe, and now the bases are loaded.
Guys, it was off the elbow of Molina, and then off the glove and the mask. Karams in front of the Cub dugout. You talked about it in the first inning, what it must be like to catch a pitcher like this. I'll tell you, it's scary.
Now Paul DeYoung, he's 0 for 2.
Ball is outside by 18 inches.
Crowd a little bit restless. DeYoung fly to right and then hit a ball that normally would have left the ballpark, but the wind knocked it down in deep left. 0 for 2. Two and 0.
Here comes Anthony Rizzo. Now, tell me what Anthony Rizzo knows about pitching. Now, here comes the pitching coach to take the load off of Anthony Rizzo. Obviously a mound visit, but you know, I know Anthony Rizzo is a leader, but he's not a pitcher or a catcher. So the first guy out there at least should be a catcher, don't you think? Or the pitching coach.
I think you do anything to try to disrupt whatever bad rhythm he's in. And maybe that's why he's doing it. Maybe. And my partner doesn't buy that one
no,
one bit.
I don't. It's up to the guy on the mound. He's the guy with the pitching toe.
The 2-0 pitch to DeYoung. Back to Chatwood. Look what I found. A double play.
Scalded back to the middle. A 1-2-3 double play. It's
important mound visit that paid off in spades. They get the double play.
How in the world did he catch the ball? I mean, the ball hit the heel of the glove, but a 1-2-3 double play. Rather easily turned by Caracini, the catcher. Nicely done. Jim DeShays, the announcer for the Cubs, poked his head in here and said, if the Cardinals don't swing, we're still playing that inning. And he might be right. But, I mean, now can you question Paul DeYoung hits a bullet back through the middle. Would have been a base hit to center. Didn't turn out right.
Weaver has 9 ground ball outs, and that's a career high. We're in the 5th. It's tied 1-1. And a base hit for Jason Hayward. Leadoff man aboard for the Cubs.
That was a curveball about hat high.
Yeah, usually in watching a bunch of Hayward's games in the season in St. Louis, so you saw 500 plus at bats, like many lefties, likes it down,
right?
You know, and you just don't see him go up a lot for pitches.
No, that was a horrible pitch and an awkward swing and a good result for the Cubs.
Now Ben Zobrist, he's been on base twice with a walk and a single to center. Hayward with just 1 stolen base this year. That's a bit surprising. And the fact that he's been on base a little bit more this year than in years past. Whacked into center for a base hit. Hayward on his way to third, and runners at the corners, nobody out. Boy, you think about the swing in this game. The base is loaded to Young up and a double play, and now back-to-back singles for the Cubs.
One on a blooper to center, and Hayward to third on a blooper by Zobrist. He broke his bat in the process. And we mentioned this yesterday, the Cubs lead the major leagues going from first to third on base hits.
Here's Javi Baez. 72nd time going first to third this year. There's an infield hit and a sack. Base hit into right. Cubs back on top. It's 2-1. '73rd run driven in by Baez. 4 pitches in the inning for Weaver, 3 hits. And Kyle Schwarber. And Molina mound visit. That's to get Myers some time to get loose.
Wonder if Greg Garcia will talk to Colton Wong. He was telling him things across the field. And here comes Mike Schilt, and that will be all for Luke Weaver. I think what Greg was telling Wong was that play shallow enough, not only for the double play, if that's where you want to go with the ball, or on a ball that's not hit hard, you might want to come home with the ball.
Myers coming on when we come back. By the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Mike Myers into the game. Our Chevy called to the pen. Cardinals have been coming to Myers in spots like these. Runners on. Runners in scoring position. And the first pitch hit out of play by Schwarber.
Well, the big reason for that is he's the best swing and miss guy that Mike Shildt has in the bullpen. And that includes Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks is not a swing and miss guy necessarily. He's more of a ground ball guy because of that wicked sinker of his.
A 1 pitch. Schwarber today struck out and also walked. Weaver 4+ innings. 7 hits, couple of strikeouts, walked 5, 1 intentional. Baez and Zobrist aboard. Delayed steal and Baez at second base.
19 stolen bases now in 21 tries. Now Mike Shildt forced to bring the infield in. With Yadier Molina behind the plate, you don't see many delayed steals. Now the infield forced to come in.
2-1. 2-2. Two in the air out to center. Runners will tag. Pham comes in to make the catch. Wind really knocked it down. His throw to third is not in time, but a strong throw by Pham. Run scores to make it a 3-1 Chicago lead.
With nobody out, trying to get a strikeout here. It's a high breaking ball. Good play by Tommy Pham. And you're right, Dan, that wind knocked that ball down in a hurry. Disaster almost happened with Tommy because he actually backed up too far.
And a ball to Caratini. 3-1 Cubs. Chavez throwing in the Cubs bullpen. They just acquired him from Texas. Out time called.
I think with Baez on third, Joe Madden will give him go on contact. Got the pitcher, the third hitter. I think on a ground ball to an infielder, Baez will try to score, as opposed to normally holding up in this situation.
And his speed, reckless abandon, the way he goes about it.
Yeah, and plus Mike Shildt will just walk La Stella to get to Chatwood if he doesn't go.
1 ball, 1 strike. Cubs today have had 2 sacrifice bunts, 2 plays in which they've gone first to third, stolen base, a sac fly. A little bit of the small ball here.
Small ball, that's big ball.
The 2-1 pitch to Victor Caratini. The fly ball out to left.
Be careful with Baez.
Catch made. Ozuna's throw to the plate. It's in time, and Baez is tagged out. They take a chance with Ozuna, knowing that his throwing arm has not been to where it was in years past, dealing with a sore arm, and the move did not pay off. Chance, and Ozuna throws him out at the plate.
A lot of people think that if a base runner makes an out on a play, that it's a bad play. That is not necessarily true. The odds are with the Cubs. They're up by 2. The wind playing havoc with the ball Ozuna caught. He's got a bad throwing arm. Should have been out for sliding out the baseline anyway. The home plate umpire only now calls him out.
Ozuna to lead it off, followed by Pham and Wong. I think you take that chance. Made sense.
Of course. If, you know, with Baez at third, say he stays there, then you go walk LaStella to get to Chatwood with 2 outs. Made all the sense in the world.
Strike to Ozuna. Chatwood pitching into the 6th, something he has not done a lot of this year. Ozuna has walked and struck out. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a ground ball chopped to short. Baez comes up with it for the first out. August 17th, that's a Friday. 30,000 fans 16 and older receive an adult Cardinals mystery BP pullover, courtesy of Coca-Cola and the good folks at Schnucks. Be surprised at the gates when you discover which Cardinals player you get to rep. Molina, DeYoung, Carpenter, Ozuna, Fowler. August 17th, cardinals.com/promotions.
You know, Dan, you look at this game, and in the top of the 5th inning, there was no momentum by either team. None. But that ground ball double play gave the Cubs the momentum that they showed with the consecutive hits that they had in the bottom half of the inning and scoring 2 runs. Now clearly the momentum with the Cubs.
0-2 pitch to Tommy Pham. Walked, stole his 10th base back in the 2nd, and also lined out sharply to center. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Chatwood is due up 2nd in the bottom of the 6th. Carl Edwards Jr. Boy, is he nasty. He's starting to throw in their pen. 3-2.
As good a fastball combination, fastball curveball combination as any reliever in the league.
Up and in. So from 0-2 to a walk for Tommy Pham. This week on Cardinals Insider, Jordan Hicks brings the heat. Mike Maddox joins the show to talk about the rotation. It comes your way tomorrow at noon. Cardinals Insider on Fox Sports Midwest. 6 walks handed out by Chatwood. And Joe Madden says that's it.
I don't think Joe is employing a double switch either. The pitcher, as you said, Dan, drew up second.
.45. Did not pitch yesterday. This will be his 31st appearance. Game 2 of the series. Cardinals had 18 runs on 18 hits. Today against Chatwood, they've got 1 hit. And now Edwards is into the ball game.
That 1 hit, the home run by Matt Carpenter. Somebody in St. Louis tuning in for the first time. No, that was yesterday. No, he did it again today.
That's right. Pham, your runner at first base. Tying run at the plate. And a strike on an off-speed pitch to Colton Wong. StatCast powered by AWS. Many times we saw, I'd say 3-4 weeks ago, teams really shifting against Colton Wong, and that's not necessarily the case now. In the outfield, they shade him a bit to left center.
Because he's late on the fastball.
Like that.
Like that.
1-2 the count. Popped up. And him out in front. Catch made by Zobrist. With 2 outs, it's Dexter Fowler. 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to first and grounded back to the pitcher. One thing that Mike Shildt has done is, it's early in his tenure, but he has sacrificed offense for defense. You know, Jose Martinez has not been in his lineups. Fowler's had a chance to play. Wong is playing. And Fowler hits on a hop to Baez. And he's retired. So Edwards gets the final 2 outs here in the 6th. And it's 3-1. On tap. Tonight's starter for the Cardinals will be John Gant. Game 2 of this doubleheader at 6. You can see that on Fox. Mike Montgomery 3-3 for the Cubs. Those highlights from Gant on Sunday, which proved to be Mike Shildt's first victory as Cardinal manager. Gant was in relief of Michaelis. He only went 4 innings. Then he went 4 and was outstanding. Tommy LaStella, Almora's at the on-deck circle. Will be the pinch hitter for Edwards, and then Anthony Rizzo. LaStella with a base hit to center field. It's a diving attempt to catch the ball by Pham. Came up just short. Eventually he was left stranded, and he's also grounded out to second. If you're just joining us, the Cardinals with some roster moves today. Carlos Martinez, a right oblique strain on the 10-day DL. Miles Michaelis activated from the paternity list. He'll go tomorrow. John Brebbia recalled from Memphis. Luke Weaver activated from the taxi squad, and he started today. Matt Bowman back to Memphis. 3-0 the count on LaStella. And a strike. Another big crowd today, 41,004. 41004. That's hit out of play. 3-0 to 3-2. And a grounder pulled foul. Myers came in last inning with runners at first and third, nobody out in the fifth. Kyle Schwarber got a sac fly, picked up an RBI. And then Caratini, the fly ball to shallow left that turned into a double play. Baez trying to score, tagging up from third, and he was gunned down by Ozuna. And the 3-2 pitch, fouled back. So the final line on Luke Weaver was 4+ innings, 3 runs on 7 hits, struck out 2 and walked 5. 1 was intentional. Pitch number 8 of the at bat, fouled back again. Big gap in right center. 9th pitch of the at bat. And Myers will win this battle. On the ground to Wong, and that's the first out. The Phillips 66 ticket vouchers are back. They're better than ever. Fill up at Phillips 66 with 8 gallons or more, and you can get a voucher for up to 50% off, but up to 8 tickets to a Cardinals home game. For more information, visit Cardinals.com/Phillips66. Here's Almora, the pinch hitter for Carl Edwards. Big happy birthday to our colleague, the Mad Hungarian, Al Raboski.
All right.
He loves to talk about his birthdays.
Well, when you get to having a lot, sometimes you don't like to talk about them as much as you did when you enjoyed cake and ice cream at age 12.
I think that's probably the case with Al.
Al was in town yesterday. Is he still in town?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not sure if they're coming to the ball game today or later tonight.
Entertaining sponsors with FSM.
The 2-1 pitch. And Garcia was playing in. Almora, the second out. And as Al pointed out yesterday, sponsors so important to what we do.
Absolutely.
Anthony Rizzo with 2 outs.
Cardinals have gotten an awful lot of ground ball outs today. I'll say that. You talked about Luke Weaver and Mike Myers comes in the game, gets a double play on a unusual double play, 7-2 when Baez tried to score.
Wong on a hop. We've seen now 11 groundouts, make that 12 with that ground out to Wong. Waveland Avenue here in Chicago. The end of the ball game as we advance to the 7th inning. It's our Chevy Cole to the pen, his 44th appearance. A 2.75 ERA. Cardinals with their due-ups with Garcia, the pitcher's spot, and Carpenter. Jairo Munoz, who homered in the ball game yesterday, looks like he'll pinch hit for Greg Garcia. The Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
I would imagine Harrison Bader will be out to pinch hit for the pitcher. And I'm not too sure I wouldn't have Bader hit before Munoz. Munoz with a little more power. You're going to put him in the game anyway. It'd just be hitting 9th and not 8th.
Good point, yeah.
Just something to think about. It's not clear one way or the other. But
yep. Cardinals love Bader against lefties. I mean, if there's a spot they can get him in against a lefty, they'll do it. 0-2 the count. Wilson, the third pitcher used by the Cubs, and Bader at the on-deck circle. Carl Edwards Jr. 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, no strikeouts, no walks. And the 0-2 pitch, Wilson to Munoz. Pulled foul.
Small sample, but Wilson appears to be throwing harder today.
Just thinking that. I agree. I don't remember him throwing this hard. 0-2 pitch. You got to pay attention here at Wrigley Field. That was off the facade and then dropped straight down. If you're not paying attention, you'll take one off.
Coconut.
That's right. That's a happy fan right there. She gets a souvenir and she puts it right in the foam finger. Big Cardinal fan Keith O'Brien, collector of foam fingers, watching Cardinals baseball today. There's a leadoff base hit into right center by Munoz.
Boy, that's a great at bat by Munoz. Fouling off some very difficult high fastballs. He gets one with a little tail on it, wraps it into right center. Nice.
The more you watch him, the more you like him.
Yes, sir. This is a move that I didn't anticipate, and I think it's a good move by Mike Schilt.
Martinez?
Yeah. Instead of Bader.
Last year and a half, Jose Martinez, not as much this year because he's been an everyday player, but outstanding pinch hitter. Certainly one swing of the bat, he could tie it up. Those numbers as a pinch hitter in his career, .450 the average.
Amazing.
A check swing and a strike. You know, players are so used to the modern amenities of ballparks. Wasn't until a couple of years ago, if you were a pinch hitter here at Wrigley, only thing you could do is hit off a tee. And now they've got those built-in little cages to take some BP.
Yeah.
I know it sounds kind of simplistic, but it can be important. Nothing in 2. Tyler Lyons and Greg Holland in the Cardinals bullpen getting loose. Steve Cishek, the former Cardinal, Right-hander throwing for the Cubs.
Well, the amenities that are afforded players now are so much greater than they were 30 years ago. Able to hit in the batting cage for a pinch hitter. You used to be cold turkey. Don't forget how you're supposed to do it.
Grab a bat, grab a helmet, and go to it.
Go get them.
I've noticed, and I need to ask Jose about this, but to me, he's standing away from the plate more so in the last week or so than I remember. I mean, he's really off the plate. And he pulls it to third. LaStella with time and safe at first. Well, it could have been a double play ball. Now the Cardinals have 2 runners on and nobody out.
That ball was hit so hard, and it took a bad hop. Stella's still the third baseman. Tough play. It'll be an error, but a tough error at that.
Aaron LaStella, his second, and now it's Carpenter. Cardinals with 2 hits today, and one of those, you guessed it, a home run from Matt Carpenter. If you're the Cardinals, you couldn't have a better spot right now. 2 runners on for Carpenter. BJC Healthcare difference maker since May 16th. Mentioned this earlier. Jesus Aguilar, the only player in the National League with more home runs. Matter of fact, all of baseball with 22. Cardinals today are 0 for 12 with men on base. Oh, 1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Munoz really dancing out there at second base.
He was thinking about running because Wilson didn't look at him at all, paid no attention to him. But you got that sneaky Javi Baez behind you, boy. You got to watch that. Baez quick in every way. He's giving signs to the pitcher right now. Right before the pitcher started his stretch, Baez was giving him to watch this guy in his own way.
I wonder too if that's to Caratini as well.
Sure.
But certainly with Wilson Contreras back there, you would see it. Not sure if you'll get it with Caratini. We'll see. It's a ball and 2 strikes on Carpenter. Ooh, fouled back. Spoiled by Carpenter.
Tough pitch there.
It's fouled off 4 pitches in this at bat. And another 1-2 pitch to Carpenter. Ground ball foul. See, Munoz again has really been getting a huge lead at second base. Baez, some of the signals to Wilson and Caratini. The 1-2 stays away, 2-2. Incredible eye at the plate, one of the best in baseball, and couple that with the fact that he's locked in. This is a dangerous spot for the Cubs. 2-2, 2 runners on, nobody out. Molina at the on deck circle. The next 2, Carpenter. And Matt sends a high fly ball into right center. It's at the wall and caught. Munoz tags up from second to third. Martinez still at the bag at first.
Now, if Munoz can tag up, Martinez can tag up. It's not routine, however. It's a tough read because the ball ended up being caught about 2 feet from the fence. So, I mean, you got to give a little leeway to Martinez in that particular situation, I think. But ideally, with nobody out, you got to look. I mean, if it's a fair chance, you got to watch the center fielder. If it's a good chance for him, then you go back and tag up.
But Carpenter gave it a ride to center. Cishek into the ball game. Very tough on righties, as we saw in St. Louis with that motion that he uses. Well, I don't know. I mean, the more I think about it, Martinez, and I understand what you're saying. But
No,
boy,
listen, I'm not going to argue that, but it's a tough play for him. But he's either got to be at second or at first. If he's at second, he can at least get to third if the ball is dropped. If he's at first.
Molina on the first pitch. It's a high fly ball out to center. And the catch is made. The throw will go into second base. Munoz will score, and the lead is cut to 3-2.
It was almost an apologist tag at first base by Martinez, tagging up on a ball that there's no way he can go to second base. Sac fly for Molina. RBI number 42 on the year. Yeah, the more I think about it, I agree with you. I think I was dead wrong, pal.
Well, it is, though, one of those plays. You're kind of in between as a runner.
Yeah.
Here's Paul DeYoung, and maybe the play of the game. Bases loaded. DeYoung up. Chatwood on the ropes, and on a 2-0 pitch, grounded back to him sharply. And it turned out to be a double play. That's hit to third. And let's stretch here at Wrigley. Cardinals pick up a run. And with that, it's 3-2 Chicago. Number 26. I think as we edge closer to the trade deadline, you know, you think about the Cardinals and the left side of their bullpen. They have not gotten what they have needed at times from Cecil or Lyons. Lyons has been hurt.
Missed 48 games.
Munoz into the ball game, stays in at third base after his pinch hit, single into right center, and scoring a run. Good work from Mike Myers again. 2 innings, no runs, no hits.
Getting more and more confident in the bullpen, I think.
Yeah,
is Mike.
No doubt. And the switch hitter Ian Happ, this side of the plate, 230 the average. He's hit 12 home runs with 3 coming from this side of the plate. He has walked, he's flied out, and also struck out. 3 of the 5 runs scored today have come on 2 sac flies and on a double play. Munoz, he's got a good arm. Didn't really need to show it off there. Makes the play, and that's the first out. Hyundai pitch arsenal for the Cardinal left-hander. Fastball, slider, and a changeup.
Hitters will see that slider more than the fastball, and that is very unusual for any pitcher coming out of the bullpen. Very effective with the breaking ball when he's right.
And ball 1 to Hayward. Grounded into a double play back in the first. Then a 1-6-3 put out in the third. Single to center and scored. 3 balls and no strikes. And he walked him on 4 pitches. Now on sale, the yearbook. Celebrates the golden anniversary of Bob Gibson's historic 1968 season. The year of the pitcher. Q&A with Gibson. Features recollections from Hank Aaron, Tim McCarver, many more. 345-9000, Cardinals.com/yearbook. So if I was to ask you 1968, what comes to mind in the year of Bob Gibson?
Bob Gibson.
That sums it up. 1.12.
Also a number of other pitchers. Juan Marichal won 26 games that year. Never won a Cy Young Award because he was pitching in the same league as Koufax and Gibson.
And in the other league, Denny McLain with 31 wins.
Roger Maris told us in August, he said, if Detroit wins this, we will not have problems with McLain. And he was very, Roger made a statement like that, he was right. You knew he was right. You trusted him in being right. He said, Mickey Lolich is the guy. And boy, did he ever turn out to be the guy for the Tigers in that series.
You can read all about that in the 2018 Cardinals yearbook. 345-9000, Cardinals.com/yearbook.
You know, it's funny when I think about a lot of things, thinking about Bob Gibson and Steve Carlton. Bob Gibson taught Steve Carlton the slider. Bob Gibson almost never threw the slider in the dirt. Almost never. And Steve Carlton did it 3 out of 4 times.
And a base hit into right. A breaking ball. Hayward to third. And in there safely. First to third. We talk about it a lot, and it comes into play again.
3rd time in this game, 74th time in the season. That leads all of baseball. First to third.
Our friend Wade Forrester has been, he's a huge Cardinal fan. He's been documenting the 1968 season with Bob Gibson. It was this date he won his 10th straight, 2-0 over the Mets. First game of a doubleheader at Busch. The shutout this date was Gibson's 7th of the season and 16th complete game of the campaign. It was only in the middle of July. Wow. There's Baez. And a fly ball out to shallow left. It's going to drop. And it's fair. Hayward will score. Baez on his way to second. It's a double. And it's back to a 2-run lead for Chicago.
That ball should have been thrown to second base. I'm not sure Paul DeYoung. The only guy who can help him is Marcell Ozuna. And if Marcell Ozuna thinks that on a ball hit that shallow down the left field line that he can fool somebody into catching that ball, he's sadly mistaken. That ball's not hit 160 feet down the line. And he's got the decoy out. Not going to work.
Lions got the first man, and then a walk, a single, bloop double. Luke Gregerson has just gotten up. And you can understand why Lions stayed in the game to face Baez, because after that you got Schwarber here. You could turn around Caratini, who's a 194 hitter from the right side, so it does make some sense.
Yeah. Well, the Zobrist hits today have killed the Cardinals. He's been in the middle of everything. 3 for 3, a walk, run scored, 3 singles, 2 to center, 1 to right.
Intentional walk to Schwarber. And the batter will be Caratini. 7th walk the Cubs have received in the ballgame. Caratini was at the plate back in the 5th with Baez at 3rd. Hit a fly ball to shallow left that turned out to be a double play. Baez trying to score.
It is a rarity to see a manager walk a left-handed hitter to get to a switch hitter. Not saying it's good or bad, it's just a rarity. Trying to get the double play ball, and as Dan mentioned, only a 194 hitter is a right-hander.
It's grounded into 2 double plays this year. Good breaking ball, nothing in 2. That's what the Cardinals would love to see, more consistency out of that breaking pitch.
Telling graphic, left-handers batting .346 against Lions.
Kept it front.
Play. Good play by Yachty. Anytime you folks are at a game and you see a ball bounce in front of home plate, that was actually on home plate. It hit the edge. Those are tough balls to block.
The 1-2 pitch. And a fly ball out to right. Backing up Fowler. Back he goes to make the catch. All 3 runners tagging up. Zobrist scores, and it's 5-2.
Knows how to run the bases, don't they?
Yep. Tommy La Stella, the batter. 5-2 the score. Chris Bryant has moved to the on-deck circle. Left on the bench for the Cubs, Bryant, Russell, and Contreras. The 1-0 pitch with runners at 2nd and 3rd. St. Louis will have Ozuna, Pham, and Wong coming up in the top of the 8th. Reaching for it, and a base hit over Wong and into right. 2 runs will score. And the Stella has busted it open.
As far as location, that was a good slider, but there was no bite to it. It just sat there even though it was outside. So credit to Stella for good hitting on a ball just that didn't have the bite that we're used to seeing out of Tyler Lyons.
And with Bryant coming up, Cardinals go back to their bullpen. Luke Gregerson. Ball is brought to you by Budweiser. Wherever legendary MLB moments happen, Budweiser will be there. And by Ford, going further so you can. 10 hits now for the Cubs, only 2 for the Cardinals, and they trail 7-2.
Team that got 18 hits yesterday has 2 this afternoon.
That's the look of a lot of Cardinal fans right now.
Right.
A Chevy call to the pen. Luke Gregerson is in, and he'll get Chris Bryant. Pitched out of a jam yesterday. No damage done. The bases loaded. Got a double play. And a strike to Bryant. Nothing in 2 the count.
Oh, he's been impressed by Luke Gregerson, who's got that slight delay when he takes the ball out of the glove. It's an interesting, deceptive move that I'm sure is only natural with Luke.
It's the first pinch hit appearance for Luke, or rather for Chris Bryant on the year. And he's in the hole, nothing in 2. The 1-2 pitch. Doesn't chase. 2-2. Full count. I wouldn't think you could give in to Bryant with a fastball. He could launch it.
I think with your 5-run lead, though, things change because you don't have the levity of pitching around guys. You got to make them hit the ball. Base runners mean, like this inning has proven, it means trouble.
The 3-2 pitch to Bryant. The check swing, ground ball that's hit to Munoz. Cubs strand a runner, but they pick up an even bigger lead as they score 4 here in the bottom of the 7th. Due up for the Cardinals, Marcell Ozuna, Tommy Pham, and Colton Wong. Cardinals, Carpenter, home run again today. 5th straight game he's done that. Munoz, a pinch hit single, came around to score. Zobrist 3 for 3. And Baez is 3 for 3 for Chicago. Jesse Chavez, our Chevy call to the pen, is Cubs debut. Traded a couple of days ago from Texas to Chicago. This is our Chevy call to the pen. The 5th pitcher used by the Cubs. And the batter is Marcell Ozuna. Chris Bryant stays in the game and takes over at third base. Ozuna with a strikeout today. He is walked and also grounded out to short.
When you don't know a pitcher and you look at his windup, there's a lot of telling things about that. This guy has a violent delivery.
And a ground ball to short, circled by Baez, and he makes the play.
One of the key things in hitting is to be able to wait, and it's tough to wait against a guy with a high leg kick. That violence at the end. It's a real good trait from a pitching standpoint.
Well, it's been interesting. The Cardinals have had huge offensive days, number of them. 10 runs against Pittsburgh, 11 against Cleveland, same against San Francisco, 14 against the White Sox, 18 yesterday. But then the following day, they're either shut out, the most they've scored in a game is 2 runs.
Yeah.
That's odd.
They have 2 runs in this game. Dan Hyde, nobody points it out any better than he does. Doing a great job as usual. And here it is, the 5th time this year that the Cardinals have scored double digits, and then the next day, nothing.
A ball and 2 strikes. Pham late with that swing and right over Kolten Wong.
Wow.
Wow. Man, oh, man.
Talk about the fans have to be ready. The guys on the on-deck circle particularly. Ball was about a foot over Colton's head.
Scary. Inevitably, someone will ask us, well, what is Juan Encarnacion up to? And you bring that up because Aaron Miles is at the plate, the switch hitter, who played a little bit here with the Cubs. Hit a line drive off of the face and eye of Encarnacion, ended his career. And he's in the Dominican, we understand, but not many have been able to get a hold of him. Pham is out. Chavez got a piece of it, and Zobrist a nice play.
I don't know of any other play today that has firmly made the Cubs say that this is their day. The ground ball back to Chatwood, and then the double play, the 1-2-3 double play, and now a play like this.
Two outs, and Kolten Wong looks at strike one. Struck out, fly to center, and also popped out to second.
Almost everything that's happened in this game has gone the Cubs' way.
Yep.
Not that they haven't forced it, talent and all that, but
and Wong bounces it to second, taken there by Ben Zobrist. Scoreless debut for Chavez, 7-2. Take home July's T-shirt of the month. It's extra special. It pays tribute to Hall of Famer Red Schoendienst. Great tickets remain. Cardinals.com/promotions. Well, if you include today, the Cubs are outscoring their opponents by 81 runs in the 7th inning or later. That's best in baseball. It was a 3-2 game going into the 7th. Cubs picked up 4 off of Tyler Lyons.
That's an indication that most of the time they're doing it against the bullpen.
The top of the lineup for Chicago: Rizzo, Happ, Hayward. Anthony Rizzo has been on base 3 times. Triple into the right field corner back in the first. Intentional walk and then walked again in the fourth. The A's have acquired Jeurys Familia from the Mets for 2 prospects and international slot money. They've been playing very well prior to the break. They've got an all-star in Blake Trinan, rookie phenom Lou Trevino. So that's 3 guys that, yeah, could really make a difference. Oakland 9 games out, 4 back of Seattle.
Excuse me, Dan. Good game in a very tough division. Oakland 12 games over 500.
And 9 games out. That's how tough that division is.
Really.
3-1 the count here on Anthony Rizzo. Three and 2. Reminder, game 2 of the doubleheader coming up at 6 tonight on Channel 2 back home in St. Louis. 3rd walk for Rizzo. 8th walk the Cubs have received. Ian Happ has walked, fly to left, struck out and grounded out. He was the first batter that Tyler Lyons faced last inning, got him to ground out. Then it was a walk, a single, a double, intentional walk. And the Cubs had opened it up. Ball 1.
No way to defend a walk.
The 1-0 pitch by Gregerson. Just picking against these lefties on the outside corner.
Yep.
Two and 1. Pitch at 87 miles an hour, and Gregerson not a hard thrower anymore, but still went right. Very good slider. Two 1 pitch. 2-2. See John Gant go later tonight against Mike Montgomery. Our next telecast will be tomorrow. Good matchup. All-star Miles Michaelis, our Budweiser What's on Tap. Jose Quintana, the lefty, going for the Chicago Cubs. Three-2 pitch. Gregerson to Happ. And he struck him out. Plaza Tire Fox Tracks. It's highly unusual when you think about baseball today. In this game combined, 5 strikeouts. I mean, normally you're talking about by the 8th inning, one team is at 10 at least.
Nowadays, that's a fact. Yeah.
Jason Hayward is grounded into a double play. A 1-6-3 put out. Single to center, scored in the 5th, walked in the 7th and scored. Wong, can he get it out of his glove? He does, and what a play. Takes a hit away from Hayward. Man, what a play there by Colton Wong.
When Baez is playing short, Colton Wong is the best fielding second baseman in the National League, I think. With Baez at second, you can't say that. Spectacular play. Got hung up in the webbing and a stretch by DeYoung. DeYoung almost coming like a first baseman. It's at shortstop. Great play.
Now Ben Zobrist with 2 outs, 3 hits today and a walk.
I know you've got Albies with the Braves. Good player, real good player, leading the National League in hitting now, but a very good defender also. A bunch of good second basemen, but none better other than Baez, in my view, than Colton Wong.
Got tremendous range.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
All over the place.
On 1 the count on Zobrist. Cubs with a 5-run lead. You can see Gregerson with that unique delivery. He's not very quick to the plate.
No.
And the veteran staring back at the home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale. He thought he had a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike on Zobrist. Two and 2. April 26 against the Mets, Gregerson threw 24 pitches. That's his season high, and he'll match that total with this delivery. The 2-2.
Cubs have 10 hits, 6 of those out of their 4 and 5 spot. 3 from Zobrist, 3 from Baez.
The 2-2 pitch and a full count. Talking about those strikeouts, the Cardinals have struck out only twice today. Their season low is 2 strikeouts, and it happened yesterday. So back-to-back games. Carpenter playing behind Jason Hayward with the lefty at the plate, and Ben Zobrist. And a base hit into center. Hayward from first to third again.
4th hit for Ben Zobrist. Been on base 5 times. Man. Looks like a slider hit off the end of the bat. Zobrist's a guy who can make contact in the middle of the field. Talked about that earlier. 3 of his 4 hits have been to center field today.
Average has jumped to 295. You would think he's going to get slider after slider in this at bat. He hung that one and got away with it. It's the 3rd time that Hayward has gone first to third in this game.
And you know, when he was with the Cardinals in 2015, he didn't do that a lot.
Out of play. Brett Cecil throwing in the Cardinals pen. 0-2 the count on Javi Baez. Fouled back. Baez, an infield hit, a sacrifice, a base hit to right that scored brought in a run. That was Hayward. Stole a base, number 19, and an RBI double in the 7th. And again, a delayed steal.
And a great play by Yadier Molina.
Sure was.
Diving with the backhand. I would not imagine Molina will start the 2nd game tonight.
Day game tomorrow.
Yeah.
One ball and 2 strikes. Pitch number 31 coming up. And Gregerson steps off. Another good play. Struck him out. Sends us to the 9th. 7-2 Cubs with the lead. For the Cardinals, trailing 7-2 in this game. They've been out hit 11-2 at game 1 of the doubleheader. First pitch hit out of play. Fowler has grounded out twice. Check that 3 times. Jairo Munoz at the on-deck circle, and then we'll see a pinch hitter for Gregerson. 0-2, the count on Dexter Fowler. Chavez in his second inning of work. Chatwood went 5 1/3. Edwards 2/3 of an inning. Wilson, the lefty, 1/3. Cishek 2/3, and now Chavez. And Fowler pulls it foul.
He didn't break his bat on that? Gosh. Sure sounded like it. Sometimes when you have that tape in there, you can't tell.
And a strikeout of Fowler. Take a look at our Budweiser play of the game. Back in the 5th inning, Paul DeYoung at the plate, bases loaded, and it turns out to be a 1-2-3 double play. Then Chatwood on the ropes at that point in the game and let him and the Cubs off.
That was without a doubt the turning point in this game.
Here's Munoz. Had a pinch hit single into right, then stayed in the game. Baez to his left. Look at this play. Nice pick by Rizzo.
That's an unbelievable. I mean, you hate to, as a broadcaster, you want to say something other than unbelievable. But you can't. What a player. Even the trajectory of the throw had to be low enough to get there quicker. And then the pick by Rizzo. And all Cub infielders have to consider that when they throw it to a guy with soft hands.
Bader on the first pitch, a fly ball into shallow left, and the Cubs take game 1 of the doubleheader by the final of 7-2. Reminder that game 2 is coming up on Fox Channel 2 back home in St. Louis. The network will have it for you. Our next telecast tomorrow. Post-game show is next.